okay? Let's set the parameters. Over 90% of every television station that does news has a website. I couldn't find a single one that did not. Every website had local news. Couldn't find any in the last 2 years that did not. I mean, you may know of one. I couldn't find any. Over 90%, virtually all of them, have text stills and video. Over 60% have calendar and UGC, user-generated content, which is a relatively new entry in this. Over half have audio, live cameras, blogs, and mobile-related stuff, which is a lot lower than I'd have expected. On mobile, 30% plus have live newscasts, recorded newscasts, and streaming audio. 25% of web content is only on the web, not on the air. The one thing that we are seeing grow at least some is this. Okay, this has been kind of at least edging up. I mean, this didn't even exist a few years ago.
Vary by market size?
Yeah, bigger markets and bigger stations. I mean, it almost always, and it is those two parameters. One of the problems with the data, if you've looked at some of the things, is that you've got to be very careful when you look at data in the top 25 markets, because that includes not only the biggest stations, which are primarily network affiliates, it also includes some of the smallest stations that do news. Independents and Univision or a variety of what that does is when you look at like salary data, it frequently looks like 1 to 25 is the same as 26 through 50. It's not, it's that problem, and there's no way I can deal with that really, is that in 1 to 25 you've got a real mix of very large and very small stations.
Is it in that 25%, does this include, I don't know if you broke it down, more than raw video?
No, I didn't ask what. I'm just trying out. For those of you who have not gotten this survey, it's legal size, it's two-sided, and it's as small print as a news director can conceivably read.
20.
I mean,
That changes every year.
I dropped it down. I have to use a magnifying glass. I mean, that's the real estate I've got to work with. So as things change, and I want to look at asking new questions, and I do ask new questions every year, something has to go out. Because that's all the real estate that we've got. And you may be thinking, well, what about doing this online? And one, we do it online. And more news directors fill it out online. But you still have what's called survey fatigue. You can only go so far. And frankly, this survey goes well beyond fatigue. But honestly, a third of the news directors or so do it on paper. And I think part of why they do it on paper is that it's a very long survey, and it's really hard to do at one sitting. And if you've got it on paper, you can do some of it and you can put it aside, you can take it back and forth. I think there's probably a strong reluctance of a lot of news directors to bring it up on a computer screen, and then what? You get interrupted. A lot of those offices are not nearly as private, so